Hello, fellow CSTA members. Today I'm going to talk just a little bit about rolling with robots. This is my poster session, so I'm going to just kind of talk about some of the robots that I use in my classroom and how you can use them in your classroom. So the first robot I'm going to talk about is called the Cue robot. And so it looks like this. This is Cue. It is a partner to Dash, if you've ever seen Dash, but it just has a little on-off button. And the fun thing about Cue robots,
what is up?
It does have some very cute, it has 4 different characters in it that have different voices and different avatars, and it's for middle school students, so it does resemble like a middle school attitude. It is the cousin to the Dash. There is an app for it, so the app looks like this on your iPad. Once you get in, you'll just connect it via the Bluetooth, and it does have different, this is like the control module, so it does have Wonder, Code, and Control. Now I will tell you, control is just seriously a remote control, so if you don't want the kids just remote controlling it and not doing any coding, I would not have them use that. But you also can talk to it and type different things down here, and it will respond, so you can ask jokes and tell it jokes and ask questions. So it's kind of a fun, but mainly you'll go into the code and then you will code it that way. So you can, it has different levels to start with to work through, kind of to help you learn. One of the first activities that it does have is like a Simon Says, and you'll just touch the top, and it will do, it will show you which one to push, and then as you push one.
What is up?
So the top
up for the challenge
button,
and already played push? Alright, let's slip you past these tedious instructions and into the game. Game on.
So you can see as you play, it's a little bit like Simon Says, and if you do it right, it turns green. So it's a little bit, it's fun.
Game on.
So it's a fun unplugged activity to start with the robot and get the kids exploring. I have added 2 different, this is a Google slide, and this is how I introduce the robot. So introducing it, and it has that activity in there, and then maneuvering it in the code mode. And so this is one of the first activities as you start on how to maneuver it and use it in the code mode. Now, Wonder Workshop has an applied robotics curriculum that looks like this. And so this curriculum is super good, and it explains exactly how to do things, and it gives solutions to everything, and how to implement Google Classroom or Seesaw as you do it. It does also have a design process notebook, a game design notebook, and then an innovation notebook. So there's 3 different levels of these notebooks, and it talks through the design thinking process similar to code.org. So understand, define, ideate, plan, build, test. And so it has different activities that you can start with, and then kids work through it. And the nice thing too is they have a sketch page where they're going to sketch and kind of write out what they do. So these are great. These are all purchased through Wonder Workshop. They also do have attachments and accessories. The blaster is like a Nerf gun blaster that goes off of it. So those are fun, different accessories. Now, another fun little robot is called the Ozobot. And so the Ozobot is this tiny, tiny robot. And it is used, has 2 options for coding. So you can use the color coding with markers or coding using the Ozobockly. And I actually am an Ozobot certified educator. So as a certified educator, you submit lessons for them, and you help to show other teachers about Ozobots. And so here is how it starts. So when you start, you're going to calibrate it and get it to read this is how it's going to start by reading different color codes. And so then you will use the markers to draw and color and create codes using the Ozo blocks. And then the fun thing is too is kids can decorate their OOZBOT, and so they can add there's little shields that go on them, and they can decorate it and kind of personalize it and make it their own. Now with Ozo, that's with using the colors. You can use the colors and draw and create, and I'll show you a couple of those lessons in there. But you also can do you can do it on an iPad. And so on the iPad, you're going to do, you can, the beauty of it is that you can start with different levels. So you can start with 1, and when you start with 1, it just has simple blocks. It might be hard to see. It has simple blocks that you just slide out, and then you code it, and so you can make it move one space and connect them, and so it's very easy for the youngest coders. But then you also can move it up to 5. And so when I move it up to 5, my blocks look a lot different. They have a lot more words and languages to it, and a lot more in depth. You can change the distance, the millimeters, the speed. You can have your sounds, play notes, and so it can make music. So there is a ton that you can do with OOZBOTs. OOZBOTs are super fun and exciting for students to use. I love the OOZBOT Evo because it has 6 sensors on it, and so it does have more sensors, and it has the Bluetooth compatibility to it. So something else I just found, like this is what it looks like when you do the color coding. So there's different color codes you can do, and you can get on the OOZBOT website, and you can get like this is one of the basic starter ones. And so it actually even tells you what code to put in there, a rocket boost or a snail. So it kind of gives you some hints on what to do. One thing I kind of thought was fun is I bought these Off Teachers Pay Teachers some task cards, and so these are kind of fun. But the OOZBOT website has tons of lessons. So here's some different intro lesson that I use that I'm sharing with you today. And I'm also, one of my favorite lessons is the everyday algorithms. And so when we do this lesson, we talk about algorithms that we do every day, such as brushing your teeth and tying your shoes. And so we go through that, we brainstorm different ideas. And then the students write out all their steps to their algorithm, and then they map it, and they create their own map. And so they have to do 3 directions, 2 speeds, and 1 cool move. And so here's a cool example of a student doing this, and it's unable to play, of course. And so then we even created a little rubric for the design algorithm design of it, and if they can create an algorithm. So this is a lesson that's in here. There's also the intro lesson that I use for OOZBOTs. OOZBOTs are very great because you can use them clear from kindergarten, where they're just drawing the simple codes, up to even middle school, high school, where they're coding out and then coding it and getting their OOZBOT to read the code via the web or the app. Or actually OOZBOT also has where you can do it remotely on the computer. It doesn't have to be on a so they do also have this new hybrid program where you can apply, and so you have to apply to do this hybrid. So they're doing a lot to help with remote learning. They do have it now an OOZBOT classroom, so you can connect them via Bluetooth. And so OOZBOT is always creating new things and ways to help kids learn how to code with screens or without screens. And so you can see it's talking about OOZBOTly and coding it and with or without screens. So that is one of my favorite robots to use, and we use it a lot. The other thing I'm going to talk briefly about is called Unruly Spots. And so this is a new company that just started in 2019, I believe. But this is what they look like. There's a great way to incorporate movement with coding to get those STEM activities across all grade levels. And so this Unruly Splat has different LEDs with it, and there is a app with it. And so with the app, you can create games such as like whack-a-mole and different games and lessons like that. And so it's unrulyspots.com/community is how you can learn more about this. And so I just kind of got this and haven't used it a ton in my class yet, but it gets kids coding and playing games and moving around. So it is a newer, I don't know if you consider that a robot, but it is a newer product. And my last robot I'm going to talk about today is called a Root robot. Now, Root is a fun and easy to use robot. They are a little bit pricey. They're $199. So, but they are really cool and really, let's see if we can get this to go. They're from iRobot, and so they engage learners in innovative real world. Now, the cool thing about these is you can stick a marker right in the top of them. I don't have mine here, but you can stick a marker right in the top of it and code it to draw things on, and it's magnetic, so you can code it right onto your magnetic whiteboard that you have. So there's a cool video here that kind of explains all how a Root robot would work. And so here's kind of an example of what I was talking about, how she's coding it on the white, and she's getting it to draw. So like we coded ours to write our names, and we coded it to draw squares and simple shapes. But the iRobot, or the Root robot, also has it so that it can the blocks are very easy to use for students, and so there's great little tutorials in coding with this. So the Root robot is definitely a robot to check out and try out sometime. Again, I just had fun exploring robots with you. If you have any questions, you can hit me up on Twitter. My Twitter is @LisaBohaty, and just let me know. Hopefully you can try out some of these robots. Thanks. Have a great day.